G'day, folks. How are we going? Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Got a couple of people in the chat, but before we get there, I do have somebody who's really an auspicious character, one I've gotten to know over the years, a fellow cruiser. Only problem is he lives in Adelaide, but you know what? That's not too bad. At least it's the same country. At any rate, folks, I'm going to welcome him up on board. We've been having a bit of a chat beforehand, but let me bring up Arthur from Arthur's Cruises. G'day, Arthur. How you going, mate?
G'day, Sean. How are you? Yeah, pretty good.
That's good. Mate, give me a sec. Let me just say g'day to everybody on the in the chat there. First of all, we had Rob from Cruising on the High Seas. You were 30 minutes early. Mate, in order for you to get the Fairstar onboard 455 trillion cruise points credit, you've got to actually be on in a decent time, not like 30 minutes. I mean, that means that you didn't even go to bed yet. So having said that, Arthur, are you giving away Fairstar points as well?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, considering the ship isn't there anymore.
No, I'll give them away, you know. Find them on eBay somewhere and, sell them off.
Yeah, why not? We've got Meg. Welcome aboard, Meg. I'm going to sleep, but love you all and thanks for all the help. Well, Meg, thank you. You've been awesome. We've got the Governor, Rob on the road. Welcome aboard, Gov. Nice to have you here. We've got Philip Ratman. Just got home from a tacky dinner. Why was dinner tacky, mate?
Taco.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for correcting me there, Arthur. I do have a problem reading. Yeah, no, I do have a problem reading some of Philip's messages. Meg's still awake. Oh my goodness me. James, welcome aboard, James. Nice to have you here, buddy. Nice to see you in the chat. You got a g'day from the Governor?
G'day, Governor.
And also one from James there. Let me see who else. People are just saying g'day. So, yes, Rob. No points, mate. No points. Okay, so, nice to catch up. I mean, I'm sorry we didn't catch up on the weekend when you were down here, but nice to catch up and have a bit of a yarn because cruising's back, mate.
I know. It's back. It's great to see. You know, there's been some ships in Adelaide and meeting some of the people, off the ship when they come into town. You know, say g'day to them, make sure that they're welcomed in Adelaide.
I've just been told that I'm fired. I could be, considering it's my show. I can do whatever I like, Rob. So tell me, have you had some of the people there complaining about the COVID as well?
Not necessarily. Like when I've chatted to them, they're like, they just abide by the protocols. And, they hear about it, but it doesn't faze them. They're more like, we're here to enjoy it and we're here to have a good time, not like other places, or I should say other, groups online and stuff like that, especially some of the Australian ones, all they seem to talk about is just that. It's, rather annoying.
Funnily enough, they've been the Grand Princess got another bad write-up a couple of weeks ago. Because it came into Melbourne or Sydney, I can't remember which, with 500 cases. I mean, seriously?
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
I mean, I talked to other friends on Saturday morning. We have a group Zoom call with some other YouTubers. I don't know if you heard of Cruise Monkeys.
Yes.
Yes, they're part of Innocent Abroad. And Cruise Boys, and a couple other people from all around the world. And we have a group Zoom chat every Saturday morning with all of them. And when the Majestic broke, and everyone was complaining about that. They asked me, "Oh, what happened there? You know, are they going to shut down cruising over there and stuff like that?" So they were concerned about it too. But you know, as you know, cruising here in South Australia, let alone Australia, you know, any bad rep gets, you know, uh,
Pretty well
flung through
slammed.
the media.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty
one
well
case,
slammed.
and they slag off cruising left, right, and centre. But the next minute, they're giving away a cruise on the Today Show. Watch Today in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah,
You know, one
yeah, I
minute they're
know.
slagging her off, and the next minute they're like, "And here's a chance to win a cruise."
Yep. Yep.
So
The governor says the governor's asking, does this mean we can start sending the one-way cruises from Blighty again? Well, Gov, you know, you have your opportunity to jump on floaty boaty, so come on down. We don't mind. I mean, you've been throwing ships all the way to that. Well, they've been throwing their ships all the way to that other place. You know, the colonial place that doesn't want to be a colony anymore. You know, the one across the pond.
Yes.
So
yeah, they actually kicked their butts, didn't they?
Yep, that's right. Meg is saying if we kept up with cases in the US, no cruising would happen anymore. Well, you know what? To be honest, there is more of that stuff on land than there is on a ship. So what gives these media idiots the opportunity to get on their high horses and totally destroy what I think is an amazing, awesome type of entertainment, to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that. I just think that they go overboard. They don't go about, you know, how many people are on a plane that's recycled air. You know, you could get it from there.
Correct.
You know,
what is it? You can go. We did, as you know, we did the cruise in the US to the Caribbean, and we were on one of those tin cans for 19 hours. Mm-hmm. We got off there. Nobody said anything, but because we were on a cruise ship, you know, the world falls apart. Yeah. Anyway, Meg has just said that she just got permission to cruise again from her company that she works for. Meg, we won't tell them, but we know you've already been on one. And then she also says you're more likely to get it in an airport or a restaurant, and that's precisely what it is.
Yeah, well, I was just talking to my neighbour a bit earlier, and he said to me that he got COVID when he was in Sydney, and he's fairly certain that he got it on the plane.
Yep. The governor says simple answer because the mass public like to read headlines and not bother to read further. You could claim everyone is catching 6-eye syndrome and they'd believe you. Yeah, well, that's very true, you know. Very true.
It is.
Bad news sells.
Yeah, of course. Enough of
what's
that.
important tomorrow?
What's important tomorrow? I will tell you what's important tomorrow. Tomorrow, since we're in the future, that's the gag that I have on Saturday morning because everyone's behind in time zone. In the future, we've got Holland America and the Nordam coming in.
Beautiful.
And then on the 10th, we've got Ovation of the Seas coming in, and I think Ovation of the Seas it's part of its reposition cruise to Sydney.
Yep.
So it's coming in from Asia and it's doing the bottom part of Australia, not the top. That's what I know. Quantum did from the US over to Australia via the Pacific. And I'll just give you a bit of a rundown of what's happening here in South Australia. Up until the end of the year, we've got the Silver News coming in from the Silver Seas lines. We've got Grand Princess, which I'll be sailing on in January. And you'll be on that in March, isn't that so?
Correct.
Correct? Yep.
So you'll be on the ship, you'll be on the Grand all the time so that when you get off, we'll be getting on, right?
Something like that, yes. Yeah, I'll go on the 5th.
You wish you could sail for 3 months, right?
If I could live on a cruise ship, I would.
Well, there are people doing that.
Yeah, I know. You know how much that costs? You actually look into it? The world cruise ship?
Yeah, 90 grand or something.
No. For like a standard room, to purchase it, because you got to buy your room,
Yep.
basically. It was 2.5 mil plus 250,000 per year for maintenance, like maintenance fees.
Serious.
Yeah,
Seriously.
but everything's taken care of. Like, you know,
That's
it's
that.
if you had
As
the
we
money,
say
you
in the
would do it.
classics, if as we say in the classics, that's a shitload of money, right?
Definitely.
Yep.
So, just to finish off,
Yep.
we've got the Amazon Quest coming in from Azamar Cruises,
Mm-hmm.
and that rounds out December. And I'll just give you a quick rundown for January. We've got Audi Sal, Audi Amar, Grand Princess, all on one day. That's January 5th, the day that I leave from Adelaide, and head over to Port Melbourne there. We've got Oceania Regatta from Oceania Cruises, the P&O Pacific Explorer, the Grand Princess comes back, and then it's the Queen Elizabeth from Cunard that comes in.
Lovely. That's lovely. That's a good run. Okay, very quickly in the chat, we've got Meg saying to James that he's got 95 days till his cruise. Now, James is the recipient of the Helping Hands for Cruising cruise, which he will be doing in out of Tampa and doing West Caribbean, I believe. So
Yep,
that's going to be
beautiful.
an awesome cruise for him.
Yeah,
He's never cruised.
yeah,
Can you believe it? Never cruised, and he's going with his wife, so they're going to have a good time.
nice.
He's saying that he's going to buy a suitcase now. Um,
Yeah.
G'day, Owen. Welcome aboard. Owen was living in Croydon in Melbourne, and he's now in Tassie, back home in Tassie. Welcome aboard, Owen. Nice to see you, mate. It's been ages.
I grew up in West Croydon in South Australia.
Yeah. Wow.
So, fellow Croydonian, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, Croydon's all right. It's not a bad place, except for the one that's in the UK.
Yes.
Sorry, Gov. Sorry, Gov. Didn't mean to do that on purpose, but I did. Says, watch the documentary on long-term liveaboard cruisers as you'd expect. They are hated by staff and operators alike. Why? I don't expect it, but why? Is it because they might be demanding?
I guess after a while, your true habits come out. You know what I mean? You get comfortable because it's your home. You get
Yep.
comfortable. So, little things will piss you off and make you get all cranky and stuff like that. So, naturally, when you're at home, it's different when you're on vacation. You're relaxed, you're letting things go. You're having a few pina coladas and you're enjoying yourself, and you're very nice and friendly to everybody. After a while, that wars off because
Maybe they don't tip enough.
probably.
Now, giving you a heads up on what's happening in Melbourne, tomorrow the Westerdam pops in, along with the Seabourn Odyssey. They'll be side by side at Station Pier.
Yep.
Then on Friday we're going to get the Pacific Explorer and the Oceania Regatta.
Yep.
On Saturday we've got the Kiwi Queen Elizabeth coming in, along with the Viking Orion, and that's staying overnight.
Nice. I know friends of ours have been on that Viking Orion. Yeah, nice ship.
Then also on Sunday we'll be getting in the Nordam, and then on Monday next week the Pacific Explorer comes back in. Then on the 14th we've got the Grand Princess coming in, from your Adelaide trip.
Most likely.
And then we've got Kiwi coming in on the 15th, and then a Pacific Explorer back on the 16th, Silver Muse on the 18th, Pacific Explorer on the 19th, the Grand back on the 21st, then Queen Elizabeth on the 22nd, the Norwegian Spirit. That's nice to see them come back in.
Yeah.
That one on Christmas Day. And what a way to spend a Christmas, right?
I know.
Pacific Explorer back in on the 27th, the Viking Mars on the 30th, as well as the Pacific Explorer, and then the Seven Seas Explorer on New Year's Eve, the Westerdam on New Year's Day, and then Viking Orion the day after, and then Seabourn as well, the Seabourn Odyssey, as well as the Viking Orion, and the Grand Princess on the 3rd. And then the Adamar is the 3rd as well as the Ada Sol. Oh, both of them in. And then the Azamara is on the 4th, and the Celebrity Eclipse and Queen Elizabeth are on the 4th and 5th, respectively. So that's what. Say again?
Then I come visit you. I think it's on the 9th I visit you. 9th of...
Yep.
Yeah.
So Rob is saying that the implications of aging, healthcare, etc., ships aren't geared for longer term care. Suck it up, princess. That's what I say. We want to have fun. Yes. Philip is saying, just heard from Don's Cruising, there has been an issue at Albany. Three cruises in a row have had to bypass the port due to weather. Now all the tourist operators want some sort of compensation. Yeah, I heard that one before. And to be honest with you, this is a really good question. Okay, we know that they line up everybody to come in and pick up the cruise, and the cruise doesn't make it. Obviously, that's a bit of a layout, or an outlay, I should say, to get staff and everybody on board ready for it. But when they do come, the cruises do come, and the guys are working flat strap, they don't complain about the amount of money they make.
No.
So I'm saying it swings and roundabouts, right? Admittedly, Albany, this is just my opinion. I don't know what everybody else feels. But admittedly, Albany has been struck with bad weather. In the short term, guys, grin and bear it, because in the long term, they're going to be back and they're going to be spending bucks. What can I say? Would you agree?
I agree. I mean, and not only that, with I'm just looking up maps where Albany is exactly. I know it's in WA. I'm just double checking where it's at. It's up north, isn't it?
It's up north, I would say. James is saying that New Year's Day is Cindy's birthday. Well, what a birthday, my friend. Can you imagine if she was on board a cruise on her birthday? That'd be awesome. But when you guys come down to Oz, we'll sort that out. Now, have you found it?
Yeah, Albany's down south. And that's not normally where they stop.
No, because they'd stop in Fremantle, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they normally stop in Fremantle, and they do. Most cruises do Geraldton. Geraldton is a tender port, but Fremantle is for Western Australia, and Albany is more because it's right down at the bottom. So they're facing the Great Southern Ocean, and the weather there. It's always bad through that way.
Philip is saying no, it's south. One thing we are going to do, and I don't know, Arthur, if you can plan that far ahead, but we're planning a group cruise being the first week of January 2025. And we're looking at taking that group cruise out of... it'll be January 25 out of Sydney, possibly doing the South Pacific.
Yep.
Or New Zealand.
Which ship? Which itinerary? What you said.
Well,
but which ship?
the
Cruise line?
the itineraries haven't. Not all the itineraries have dropped as yet.
Yeah.
So we know that. I'm just looking at the. I've got the Sydney port schedule up in front of me, and we know that in 2025. Let me just get to it. The ships that they're expecting in Sydney for that time will be. Hang on a sec. Let me just get to the right page. There we go. So 2025, the Azamara Pursuit should be in on New Year's Eve. It should be in and will leave New Year's Eve as well, by the way I see it. Then the Celebrity Edge will be there on the 2nd. The Europa will be there on the 2nd as well. The Vision of the Seas will be there on the 3rd.
Ooh.
The Discovery Princess will be there on the 4th. So, I mean, there's a number of good, and the Queen Elizabeth, well, QE2 is just well up the top. The Westerdam is also there on the 5th. And then we've got an unnamed vessel. We're not sure what, but that's going to be at White Bay. Azamara Pursuit will be there on the 6th. And then the Ovation of the Seas on the 7th. And then the Carnival Splendor on the 8th. So there's a bucket load of ships that are there around about that time that we're just waiting for itineraries to drop so that we can then pick the best possible ship going out.
Yeah,
so that would be really awesome. We want to get as many Aussies on board that ship so that we can teach these Yanks, I mean, those people across the pond, the correct side of the road to drive on.
Yes.
We've got Kiwi and Oz. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here, Alyssa. Nice to see you. How you been? Hope you've been well. Are you back in Oz or are you still in NZ? You're from Christchurch, aren't you? I thought you were. It was Queenstown. Not sure. Anyway, I hope you're in Oz. So that's going to be an awesome time period.
So if you guys go on the Celebrity Edge, because that's the first ship of that class coming to Australia, and that's pretty good. I've seen videos and vlogs about that, so that looks really, really good.
At the moment, that seems to be a reasonable ship for us to look at, but we just want to compare it with some of the other cruises and see what else is going. So that will be awesome. Alyssa's in Christchurch at the moment. Alyssa lives in Brizzy, but she's visiting family in Christchurch, which is nice.
Nice.
Kiwi and Oz, and then when she goes to Christchurch, she calls herself Oz in New Zealand, Oz in NZ or something like that. She changes her channel name every 5 seconds, depending on where she lives. So the 5th of January.
Yes. Do you want me to give you a rundown of my cruise, what we're doing?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Right. We're on the Grand Princess, leaving Adelaide on a 19-day cruise to New Zealand, back to Adelaide. We're doing Kangaroo Island, Port Lincoln, we're doing Melbourne, then sail over to the fjords, Dunedin, Christchurch, or Leighton, Wellington, Napier, Tauranga. That's how you pronounce it. I've been told by Kiwis that's how you pronounce it. No, not Tauranga. Tauranga.
Yeah.
And Auckland. Then coming back to Melbourne and then back to Adelaide.
That is going to be an absolutely beautiful cruise. What's that, 14 days?
19 days.
19 days. Yeah, because it's 12 days Melbourne round the... excuse me, 12 days out there and back. So plus the couple coming into Adelaide. So that'll be awesome. Alyssa is saying that she's there until May, and she's giving you the thumbs up happy stuff about your trip. So
I have to meet up with you.
In Christchurch.
Yeah, in Christchurch. That's what I'm saying. Kiwi
Yep.
Nods, I might meet up with her. She might take me around Christchurch, get a local's perspective. Just what I want you to do for me, Sean. When I come to Melbourne, I want a tour of Melbourne.
But mate, you've already seen Melbourne. The roads suck.
I know, but I want to see it from your point of view. Actually, in fact, I want to go to a couple of places and photograph a couple of places.
Yep.
Princess Pier.
Yep.
Which is not that far away from the port, I believe.
No, that is the port.
Princess Pier
is the port.
Huh?
Princess Pier is the overseas passenger port.
Right. There's a photo of like these pylons that all like in a line that used to be a former jetty, and I want to take a picture of that. That's what I want to do. Also, I want to go to Flinders Station because there's parts of Flinders Station which is abandoned, but an artist has done like wall murals in there and stuff like that, and it's an exhibition. I want to go to that, and just the laneways. I want to go to the laneways, where all the graffiti and all that type of stuff is, and Flinders Laneway as well.
A little bit further up. A little bit further up Flinders Lane just off the side, just near Federation Square. That's where you'll see a lot of graffiti, and some of that graffiti is absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
I'll take you down there.
Make a day of it, mate.
Mate, that would be a day. That would be an awesome day.
And then you know what? We could do it on the way back. We could do it again on the way back.
Well, I'll tell you what would be.
Right.
I'll tell you what would be amazing is the ship sails in, you get off the ship, and then you can catch there's a tram that stops right outside Station Pier, which brings you right into the city.
Yes.
They call that light rail, not tram. Light rail because it's multiple coaches together. So you do the light rail into Melbourne, into the city centre. We meet up. Well, if you want, I'll even pick you up from there. I'll hold your hand as we go in.
What, from the port? You're going to pick me up at the port?
Yeah.
Hey? I'll take that.
You walk out of this ship, I'll hold your hand onto the... No, I won't. We'll get onto the light rail. I've never done that trip, so that's actually going to be an amazing trip for me.
Yeah, I reckon we should do that, mate. You meet me at the ship when it docks. I'll try to get off as quickly as possible and do that. And,
be interesting to see what... I can find out what time January... What is it? January... wrong one.
Let me look up my itinerary as well. And just to say, also with the Princess app, give you a little bit of rundown with that. It is a little bit finicky, as in you have to do a lot of stuff beforehand.
We've been doing that too.
Yeah, your travel documents and all this and that. But once you're in the green lane, you're all fine. Basically, the last thing you have to do is your wellness check. This is for Australia. I know it's differently overseas. But you do the wellness check like 24 hours beforehand, and that gives you that. I think it's under 45 days you get picking times for boarding, and once you do that, you get your app comes up with a QR code that they use to scan for you to get on board. And apparently, if you've got that all set up, and once you're in the green lane, and then you get your boarding time, you pick your boarding time. We're going on in the first lot. Once they scan the QR, it's virtually really quickly. People have said less than 20 minutes, you're on board. From the time you arrive to the time you get there.
Wow.
Really quick.
Well, we've been trying to get things set up there. You're traveling on a passport because you're going to New Zealand. But apparently, if you're traveling around Australia, so when we're doing ours, we're going Melbourne, Sydney. We can actually get on a driver's license.
this is where it gets a little bit confusing because I see a lot of this online with the different groups that I'm in. The problem is that the ship is an international ship. First of all, it flies under an international banner. Second of all, it travels to international ocean. So once it passes the 12-mile or 12-kilometre boundary, or water boundary of Australia, it's in international waters, so subject to international rules. So therefore, you have to apply international stuff to it. That's why they say take your passport. With your COVID vaccines stuff, it has to be the international vaccine stuff.
Yeah, but technically speaking, the ship doesn't actually hit in an international port. You're not actually getting off the ship in an international port, and that's where the benefit is of being able to use something like a driver's license as your ID.
Yes.
Now, let me just go back into a couple of things here for a second. Philip is saying that Melbourne weather this arvo was sunbaking. Now it's cold and has to put his snow gear on. Mate, suck it up, princess. Don't get into fights with your missus. That way you won't be in icy weather.
You know what? I've got to say with you Melbourneians, you guys don't, like, when we were on there over the weekend and we went out to the pub to have something to eat, I was wearing jeans and the pub lady comes up to me and says, "Aren't you hot?" I said, "No." She goes, "Oh, it was a stinker today. It was 30 degrees. I said, "I'm from Adelaide." And she's like, "Oh, I'm not like you, Melbourneers, all softies over there, 30 degrees and you're melting. Come over to Adelaide when it's 40 degrees, then you'd be melting."
Yep.
But you get 4 seasons in 1 hour.
Yeah, well, that's it. We do get 4 seasons in 1 hour. That's the truth. Alyssa's saying she doesn't mind showing you around Christchurch.
Good. Thank you. That'd be great.
Philip is saying the best place to pick up for the light rail is 2 stops in, so easier to park. Yeah, don't worry. I'll sneak into one of the back places around there.
He's got it all sussed out. He knows what to do.
Yeah, I know exactly where I'm going to go.
Later, I'll show you everything.
Yep. You're on, buddy. Alyssa's saying that she loves Adelaide.
Thank you. That's good. No, you don't hear too many people saying about that.
Adelaide, the city of churches. Now, according to my listing over here, it tells me that the Grand Princess is going to hit Melbourne on the 9th.
Yes, at 7 a.m. and
at 7 a.m.
We leave at 5.
Okay, cool. That gives us pretty much a fair whack of the day.
Yep, and then on the way back, it's the same, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Now, what day of the week is the 9th, do you know?
Ooh, let me just get my calendar up. The 9th is a Monday.
Cool. I'll just take that day off then, won't I?
And then it comes on the 22nd of the 1st, which is a Sunday.
You're in 22nd.
Yep, it's a Sunday.
Awesome. So we'll see how we go. It's going to be some good stuff happening there. Okay, now, all right, Philip, BC.
I like that.
Before COVID, our ship arrived at the same time as the car ferry. It was gridlock, so my parents could not pick me up. Now, the good news is the ferry no longer stops off at Station Pier. It's now off to Geelong.
Yes. It's a good. Ever done Spirit of Tasmania?
No.
It's good. It's actually quite good. We did an overnighter tour. I've got a tour of the Spirit of Tasmania on my channel, so anyone wanting to see what it's like,
I'll have a look at that. Radio Jonesy, welcome aboard, mate. you know Radio Jonesy? Jonesy was a Queenslander, lived in Sydney, is now living in Tassie.
Tassie.
Yeah,
I'd love to
he's
go back to
in.
Tassie. I love Tassie. It was really good.
I think he's in Strawn or somewhere near Strawn.
Uh-huh.
And yes, he has done the Spirit many times. But I've been liking some of your stuff that you've been putting up on your channel when you've been putting up video.
Yep.
You
Thank you.
you've matured a lot.
Thanks. I'm constantly learning from other people as well and trying to improve my storytelling and the way that I show it all, editing, and I've got oh no, he lives in Burnie. Nice.
Yep, I was wrong. Sorry about that, Jonesy.
Yeah, and just slowly trying to get better at my way of storytelling and this and that, and there's certain things I like of other people, and there's certain things I don't like of other people who are quite popular, and I like to know what's going on. I don't want to know what they ate for breakfast.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Alyssa is saying that she's never been to Tassie, so there's always a first time. And
it's beautiful.
And Jonesy is saying that it's very similar to NZ. So
yes, yeah, it is. Yeah, I would agree with Jonesy there. When we got off at Devonport, we were driving through, and we're like, "Oh wow, this is similar to New Zealand."
Yeah, I would like to. I have never been to Tassie, unfortunately, so that's something I've got to do.
What you should do is, if you go into Tasmania, you got to go to this distillery called Heliers Road Distillery. It's just outside of not Devonport. Oh, I'm trying to think of it where it is exactly. And they've got a restaurant attached to the actual distillery, so you can do a tour of the distillery, have a bit of a taste, and do the restaurant, which is really, really good. We did it and enjoyed it immensely.
That's awesome.
So I highly recommend doing that if you can. Try.
Jonesy is saying that Burnie's just up the road from the distillery. Nick is saying that his trip got. Nick was doing an amazing trip. He was going to fly into Ireland and then go off to Germany. So now he's saying his trip got pushed back. Now he's flying on Saturday, January the 21st, but it'll just be Germany, Austria, Netherlands, and Ireland, flying Minneapolis through Atlanta to Munich. Well, and then he's going Hamburg, Germany to Dublin, then Dublin to Boston, then Boston back home to Minnesota. Now, why'd you get pushed back, mate? That's not good. Nick is saying that it's 45 days in the countdown. Now, like I say, that's not good. Alyssa is saying that your trip, the idea of the winery and the restaurant sounds good. So that's cool.
Definitely, it was well worth it.
How do you compare that winery to, say, one of the wineries out of South Australia?
It's a distillery, but I found. See, the thing is, I've got to say, each winery here in South Australia that offers something different. It's not always the same stuff. So each winery does some sort of specialising for themselves. I highly recommend that people get the chance to go out to Maggie Beer's place out in the Barossa, because 9 out of 10 times you most likely will see her, and she will, give you a bit of a thing. The food there is awesome. It's really good. I really enjoy the times that I've been there. And it's also where Cooking the Chef was filmed, so you can actually see where they did the show.
Now, so the distillery What are they stilling there? What sort of alcohol?
It's whiskey, and they do their own vodka and their own like cream type alcohol, like Bailey's type
Mm-hmm.
thing as well. But primarily they do whiskey and uh, that type of thing. So they do like a single malt, they do a peated version, a devil's cut, and stuff like that. Um, One of my favourite whiskies. I'm a bit of a whiskey connoisseur myself. I've got quite a large cache of whiskies at my place.
So that's where I'm coming.
Yeah, definitely, man. I've from Helios Road. When you do the distillery tour, you get an option of pouring your own um, bottle from the cask, straight from the cask.
Wow.
So you get cask strength whiskey, and they teach you about how the whiskies are made and how they recognise when they're mature and not,
Mm-hmm.
and they show you the codes on the barrels, how they, like this barrel was done on this batch on this date, etc., etc., and you can work it out. And I worked it out. It wasn't a 10-year-old matured malt whiskey. It was a 12-year-old.
Oh.
Because after once getting tongue tied there. Once it reaches 10 years maturity, they take it out and then they cut it down for bottling. All right.
Yep.
So when you're getting it, you're getting a 12-year-old malt whiskey that is at cask strength, and they say at a minimum it's at 68% alcohol.
Oh.
Tell you what,
Oh.
I had it, and it blows your mouth straight away. Like, it numbs your mouth straight away. But after a couple of minutes, you start to notice the flavors and stuff like that. And so I had that, loved it. At one, the tour was over when I was talking with the host, and she was saying everything. And she goes, "Do you feel like having a bit of the devil's cut?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" The devil cut's 15, but this particular one was actually 17 years old, so it was a little bit more. I was like, "Oh my god, this one!" It really blew my mind. And then anyway, we went down to the restaurant, and we got this best of Tasmania platter. I think at the time it was $60. Serves 2 people, and everything from Tasmania. And also you can get a sampling whiskey sampler, and I think it was $30. And you got the single malt, you got peated, and you got the Pinot Noir finish, which I absolutely love. It's nice, sweet, soft, beautiful. That's what actually got me hooked on Helio Road, was the Pinot Noir finish. I had it one time at a dinner, and you get a shot of vodka and the cream alcohol, cream Bailey type one, and it's served in wine glasses, and wine glasses, and it was filled like that much. So you get 3 like that, and all of that. Let's just say I had a nice nap on the way home.
As long as you didn't wake up with a sore head afterwards.
No, I didn't. I was fine. It was just, I got a little bit too tipsy and had a nice.
Just before I get into the rest of the chat, Alyssa says she just gets drunk smelling it. Going to the top there, Nick. The governor was saying he's pondering Sweden in the new year. Got a week's leave coming, so he's got that to burn.
Nice. I'd love to go to Sweden.
Yeah, Nick is saying, yeah. Well, I'm not going to go down any further because Sweden, alcohol. No, let's stick with this. Nick is saying he'll be going for 37 days, so still pretty awesome. It was work issues that pushed it back, and he'd rather have it shortened than cancelled. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Jones is saying that Helios is the best. It won. It's Australia's best whiskey.
Yep.
It won many awards.
Yep. I think it's better than than Lark Distillery, even though a friend of mine that I know, he's got this whiskey collection that blows mine. Like, he has literally got whiskies that you don't hear of, and Australian ones and limited production ones and stuff like that. He knows the daughter of Lark Distillery. He knows her quite well, and she's done her own range. And he's got a couple bottles that no one will ever get. There's only like 10 made and stuff like that. I photographed his collection for him for his insurance purposes, but yeah, I managed to photograph, and there's whiskies there I never ever heard of, and they're Australian ones, and they're pretty good. But yes, Helly Road is a very well whiskey for Australia. It's probably one of the best ones I've tasted. Next to Arberg, it's a Scottish whiskey called Arberg. Brilliant. You can get it anywhere, Dan Murphy's and all that type of stuff. 10-year-old malt, get it. Bit pricey, but it's nice. It's worth it.
The problem is, I'm the only one in the house that drinks, and I don't drink that frequently. So I've just got bottles stacking up on bottles, stacking up on bottles.
Yeah, kind of like me, you know. I've got bottles stacking up bottles. I've got the linen cupboard in our house. One shelf is just full of Scotch whiskey.
Yep. I had a couple of people try and sell me on bourbon.
I've got a couple of American bourbon ones, and it's just a bit more rocket fuel than anything else.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that one. Yeah, you bought me a sodding bottle, and you know what the good news is, Rob? I've actually been. Don't tell my boss this, but I've been tucking a little bit away every night or so. Not every night, every so often when I'm had a bit of a stressful day, I just tuck a little bit of that sodding bottle that you bought me, and it is nice. For the life of me, I can't remember the name, but hey, it's a great whiskey. Good night, Alyssa. Have a good snooze. I hope that you catch up with us on Saturday, Arvo, at what'll be 4 p.m. your time, being NZ. So we're on at 2 p.m. on Saturday, Arvo. For those across the pond, not across the ditch, across the pond, it is 10 p.m. Friday evening your time. But right. Daylight saving got in the way. Rob's having a bit of the sads there. Oh no, sorry, that looks like a giggle. Yep, a little bit of a giggle there. That's cool. Jonesy's saying goodnight to Alyssa and oh yes, YouTube investigation department. That can only be Rob from Cruising on the High Seas. And keep that up, Rob, and I'll put you in timeout.
Hey! Naughty.
Yep.
Mate, you know what I'm looking forward to more than anything else? Getting back on the ship.
Yeah.
First of all. Second of all, I'm looking forward to a nice cocktail. And one cocktail that I've been told to get, I've seen people have it, is from the Good Spirits Bar, and I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's got jalapenos in it.
Ooh, that's more than just spicy, right?
Yes, so it's quite hot. Apparently, it's quite hot with the hot alcoholic to it. And I want to try that. That's what I want to try. And I'm afraid I'll like it.
I'll tell you what Ilana wants to try when she gets on the Grand is their dirty banana.
Yes, I've heard about that too. The dirty banana and the 24 carat. Try that one.
Yep.
Carrot martini.
Yep. Jonesy is saying strange comments. Yes, I would agree that is strange comments. That's the one. Glen Moray, Speyside Elgin Classic.
Yes.
He needs a new bottle next month. Now that is a nice drop.
Yep.
I'll be honest.
Have you tried any of the Japanese whiskies?
Yeah, I last week I was having a sip of a Satori one. That was nice.
I got many.
We've got Warmstrong Adventures. Welcome aboard, Warmstrong. Nice to have you here. We're just talking about cruising down under as well as our favourite drinks. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying the meals on board Princess, because this will be my first Princess cruise with family.
Oh, will it?
Yeah, we've done Royal Caribbean in the past, so it'd be kind of nice to compare. And see
now, Arthur, are you a steak man?
A what?
Are you a steak man?
Yes, I am.
So my suggestion is, and this is what we're doing on the first night we get on our cruise, is a night at the steakhouse at the Crown Grill.
Well, yes, I've heard in Crown Grill. Yes, it's good to go to.
Now, it is good to go to. It's worth the $29.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll definitely try it.
And I believe they do a special that if you go on the first night of your cruise, there's possibly a free bottle of wine that comes with it.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So, go. Get on it.
I will definitely. That's another thing. I'm going to try all the specialty restaurants on board as well. See how they all are like. I mean, I've got 19 nights, 19 days, so I've got time to try. I'll probably get sick and tired of buffet food, but I'm going to try something different.
Mate, you got to do. With Ilana and I, what it was one specialty restaurant per cruise. Yeah, and for us, the first night. Well, as you know, we're going on the March cruise with my mum and dad, and it'll be their first cruise as well. So we're getting them into the Crown Grill on first night. So it'll be my sister and her hubby, Ilana and I, and my mum and dad, the six of us, and that's going to just be a great night.
Yeah.
Rob, the governor is saying they are too technically perfect for him, but great whiskey, but lacks the soul of a true single malt.
Yeah, you know what, Rob? That's probably the best statement to describe Japanese whiskey. It is nice, it's great, but you can tell that it's missing that je ne sais quoi, whatever they say in French. It's missing that something. It's just missing something. But they are really good wines.
Thank you, Jonesy. He's enjoying the show with 2-channel format. Thank you very much. Appreciate those kind words. Maybe we'll get you up another day. Philip is saying that he is a male and identity has a male, but according to Sarah Lee Cheesecake, he's a family of 4. Okay. I'll go with that somewhere down the track.
Well, we're traveling with a family ourselves. So, it's me and my wife, our youngest, her mum and dad, which we've cruised before with them, and auntie of ours that's coming with us, and she's a barrel of laughs. She's just funny as anything, and really looking forward to having a few drinks and laughs with her, and just having a good time with the family. However, I've got to say one thing. My tradition on the cruise on the first night is to have steak. Like, normally I have it in the main dining room, but I'll give your suggestion and go and try the Crown Grill.
Try the Crown Grill, and I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. Rob is saying it used to be a new bottle to try each month. Lockdown put a stop to that. Well, mate, you can always bring it back, But then there's a limit to how much I can actually consume.
Yes. So is there anything else that I need to know about Princess that I should look forward to doing?
So
on the
what do
Princess.
you normally cruise?
I normally do. We normally have done Royal Caribbean,
Yep.
uh, and for us, the last cruise we did was on Radiance of the Seas, and we actually found everyone headed to the Schooner Bar, and
Yep.
what we found was the Champagne Bar was better for us because it was a little bit more quieter. However, the bartender did some really good cocktails. And
Oh
they
yes.
get to know you and everything. And he'll be like, "Do you want to try this cocktail? It's a little bit different. I'll try this and this and that. Do you want to try it? Yeah, sure. Why not? And he was a really good bar person, and we rather enjoyed the champagne bar preferred to schooner bar because it was a little bit more intimate in a way.
Yep. Yep. Now, if you have a look at Princess, all the Princess ships, their layout is technically similar, very similar.
Yeah,
So you're on a Princess ship and you feel comfortable with it.
yeah,
So what you'll find is that from if you're on the plaza deck, which is basically where the atrium starts, the atrium is always three decks,
yeah,
and is actually quite large. So when we actually went on the Carnival Horizon, we were quite surprised how small their atrium was. So when
yeah.
you look at any of the Princess ships, particularly you go on the Grand, the the atrium is actually quite large, and down in the atrium you'll have a couple of very good bars around there. For example, there's the wine bar, which is right next to the International Cafe. Now, International Cafe, you can get coffees and specialty coffees and all that sort of stuff. But you've
Yep.
got the wine bar, um, you've got. I'm trying to remember the layout of that ship. I haven't actually had a look at it, but there's there's about two or three different winery areas, sorry, drink areas on that level, as well
Mm-hmm.
as a restaurant which is down right near there. Go one level up to now they usually call deck six. I think that's I forget the name of it. But that particular deck has got the shops plus. If you keep walking further back, there'll be the Sabatini's, which is an Italian restaurant, and
Oh
that's also an
yes,
extra pay,
yes. I want to try that
and
as
that's worth a
well.
go. Deck seven is the promenade deck,
Mm-hmm.
and on that deck you'll find the casino as well as the Wheelhouse Bar,
Yes,
and
I've heard about the Wheelhouse Bar.
the Wheelhouse Bar is generally where you'll get. Um, they've got a number of entertainment areas as you walk across. So the Wheelhouse Bar
Mm-hmm.
generally has a stage with it, and as you trot further back down to the Vista Theatre, there's bars there as well. So like you've got plenty of drinking space.
Yep.
You just
I'm.
you just
I've
go
got
for where your
the
tongue takes you.
plans up, so I'm looking through it at the
Yep.
moment. Uh, go through. Oh, and also I've heard as well that there's Alfredo's, which is across the
Yes.
road. Looking at the,
Alfredo's pizza joint.
yeah, which is for free.
Yes, that's
The
right.
pizza's there for free. And from what
Yep.
I see here of deck five, you got Good Spirits at Sea, International
Give me
Cafe,
give
Alfredo,
me one
Vines
second
Wine Bar.
there. Give me one second there, Arthur. We've got Rob from Cruising on the High saying good night. And that's
Right.
because I'm not paying attention to his antics there. Um, good night, Rob. Have a good night, and possibly a good day's work. He works in Toronto at the airport.
Oh, nice.
Jonesy is saying that the Pacific Explorer docks in Burnie tomorrow morning, and then he also said that on Saturday there's the regatta. Um, the regatta arrives in Burnie as well. Now Philip is being clever here. He's going, I was driving with a good lady wife. When I asked her to look out to see if the indicator was working, she said yes and no, yes, no, yes, no. You seriously, Philip? Rob is currently in Orlando working. How did you manage that one? Are you on a ship there or something?
Do you want to
Rob?
hear a bad dad joke?
Yeah, go on.
Why didn't the toilet paper cross the road?
Go on.
You got stuck in a crack.
Oh, I like that one. That's good. I hope it wasn't a tradies.
No. I've got another joke though.
Not
maybe
for
in person. Yeah, maybe in person.
Well, look, Jonesy is saying that on Sunday a ship named the Queen Elizabeth docks there as well.
Beautiful.
So Burnie is actually getting a lot of good stuff happening there. All right, we've come to the top of the hour, and so what I'd like to say to everybody is, folks, those of you that are across the pond, I hope you guys have an awesome hump day. Our hump day's just come to an end. So, and we know that it was great, and because it was great here in the future, you guys across the pond will have a great one in the past.
Definitely, they're going to have
a really, really good one. So we shall catch up with you folks on Friday evening at 10 p.m., which is 2 p.m. here in Melbourne, 1:30 for you in Adelaide. So, folks, we wish you all a fantastic day. And from Arthur and I, have a terrific day, and we'll catch up with you next time. Have a great day.
See you, everybody.